So first of all, we're going to start on her left arm. And I've kind of cheated a little bit. It's kind of like a cooking show where you kind of prep everything beforehand. So I've done the cutting. I'm going to take our gel and I'm going to use it. It might be good if I take one that's open. So Tammy, I know, is clean. And I'm going to put a little bit of the gel, not very much, on her arm to make sure that that is going to stick. I want to leave this on for maybe 3 days because she's going to come back for more physiotherapy. And I want to make sure it stays there, or maybe it's going to be for a week because she's going away. Sorry, I lost my cross tape. Here it is. So, cross tape. We're going to apply that first because when I did my assessment on Tammy, she does have that trigger point over the lateral epicondyle. I'm going to peel that off carefully and just stick it on to her trigger point. You can see it's already reacting to the air waves. And that's all I'm going to do. So that's what we're using with the cross tape. We're putting it underneath the tape job over her trigger point. And the next part of this technique is going to be a muscle technique. We always measure our muscle techniques in an extended position. So I've got her into flexion. I know that the extensor system extends into the hand. Very hard to keep tape into the fingers. So we're just going to do it from the wrist to above the elbow. I'm going to always prepare my tape. And as I mentioned, we always put tape on at the beginning with no stretch, and she's going to go back into that resting position. And I'm going to make sure it's stuck. So this first part, 2 fingers or so, has no stretch on it. And I'm applying this at 10%. So I've taken my paper off, and I've got to put that 10% back on. So I'm going to get her to go back into her stretch position, and it's such a light 10%. It's not, 10% is not much. I always pat it down, make sure it's nice and stuck. And then that end, again, no stretch. And remember I talked about rubbing it and making sure it stays on. And then finally, when I did my assessment with Tammy, many people are familiar with tennis elbows, braces, and if you take that fascia and move it and then do a resisted test, hold your hand right there for me. Don't let me pull you down. And it's better like that, but when I tested her going the other way and asked her to lift it up, she didn't like it at all. So I'm going to use this fascial technique to move her skin and fascia to the outside. So again, I've prepared my tape. I've prepared what's called a Y strip. And all of our tape jobs, there's no tension at the beginning. And this is that fascial technique where you're going to not hold the base. And I'm going to ask Tammy just to turn out a little bit. And this is our jiggle technique, as we call it. We lay it on the skin, and then we're just lightly jiggling that 40 to 80% the tension. And then afterwards, I'm just laying on those last pieces. So there is a taping technique for a lateral epicondylitis for our tennis player. Now she's going to go off and win the tournament. We've done a cross tape, we've done a muscle technique, relax, and we have finished with a fascial technique.